Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This week we're discussing post-trip depression. Live from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida, you're watching The Trip. This is The Trip, episode 22 for the week of July 15th, 2015. The Trip is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation, whether it be theme parks on the West Coast, East Coast, or on the seas. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hi everyone, welcome to The Trip, a little show about something we all love called vacation. I'm Jenny Lynn.
And I'm Teresa. And back in the Nook is Rhino. And Craig.
Hi.
Just off camera.
Right, okay.
Where he needs to be. He needs time off camera.
Yes. We have a very interesting
What
group here
happened?
today. Already.
I'm in a mood, okay?
Already you are derailing the show.
I'm in a mood.
She is in a mood. And that is
In a
because
mood and
Teresa
drug.
is now back from her road trip,
Yeah, I'm back.
which kind of inspired today's topic, which is post-trip depression. So we're going to be discussing about
That's what we're
that
calling
topic
it.
and ways to cope with it.
The way you feel
Yep.
when you get back. What's going on over there, guys? You're whispering. We don't hear what you're saying.
We just had me.
It was just a
Little
computer thing.
Little meeting.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Don't bother your pretty little head about it, JL. They're just having a little meeting over there.
That production stuff. Okay. Well, post-trip not production, depression.
We are off to a running start here.
Okay.
All right.
I think you have an
I
issue.
I have an issue. Do we have any?
She's got an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sing it. Sing it again.
The issue is right now. My issue is I'm the new Teresa.
What's your issue?
The computer outros are just too short the way they're set up in the computer. So if I play it, it's just going to keep looping the issue, and it will look terrible. And now I've taken up time talking about it. So
That's okay. I'm okay with
Do you
that.
want to see? I'm going to try it. I'll show
Try
you.
it. I
I'll
wanna
show
see
you an
it. I wanna
example.
see your
Okay.
issue.
Tell me, what do you have, Teresa?
I have an issue.
Oh, I guess it
actually.
could have worked. Never mind. Well, remember we did
Okay.
it. Remember we used to do it
Rhino's just
before, and it didn't have the black, and it would
Yeah.
do something else.
All right, you're done. Stop talking. Let's go to my issue, okay? I came back from my trip, okay?
Yeah, you did.
And this was going on before my trip, too, but now it really bothers me. I'm sitting there, and I'm just, the TV's on in the background, and I hear this show, and someone had done a study about how not getting a good night's rest can mess with your attitude and how you feel. Who funded this study? Okay, and then moving on. Here's another one I heard just this week. Stress eating can cause overweight. Really? Who funded that study?
As I was zipping up my
That eating
trip.
can
Where are they
cause-
getting the money for this?
I'm not sure.
And where are they doing it? And it's really pissing me off. Okay, also, here's the one that really got me. Then they did a study on this.
Okay.
Husbands who help around the house are causing their wives to have low self-esteem.
What?
Did men do that study
I'm
to
thinking
get out of
there were no women
cleaning?
involved in that study.
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
Because the theory is if they help out and they do it, whatever they're doing better than their wife, it's going to cause the wife's self-esteem to plummet.
I'm sure the wife.
Because-
Full crap.
Because a wife's entire identity is wrapped up on her chore list. Wrapped
Yeah.
up in her chore list? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. That was probably
What-
a buzz topic.
I was just going to say, I'm sure there's a
Hot button
million
for me.
things that the wife does way better than the husband. He's the husband. He's terrible.
Okay, go back. Everything the wife does is in the... Okay, I don't know. I'm going back to I didn't get a good night's sleep, and it's messing with my attitude.
There's a
Because
there's
we're
a new
dogs in
study
this
out.
ugly
Have you heard?
world.
There's a new study out about this.
I heard it.
If you don't sleep, you will be tired.
It's going to mess with your attitude, and it causes me to stress eat, which causes me not to do my chores, and now my husband has to do them.
Which leads to your bad
I
self-esteem.
have
It's a
low
vicious
self-esteem today.
cycle.
It's horrible, and it's really
We need to pull
ticking
you
me
out
off.
of this.
And Craig's lack of any facial expression is really irritating me today.
I can't cut to that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
He's not
Rhino,
in the
your
camera
face
shot.
is always highly animated. I don't know. I'm happy to be back, but I'm depressed and it's stressing me out. I want to eat and I can't sleep.
Did you like your trip?
I did.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
That's good. I'm happy.
But I'm happy to be home. I came home to a house full of fruit.
Bad
Calvin-
fruit?
Okay.
I won't name names, but he's my husband. His name's Calvin. He had to go to the I could not buy enough fresh produce to last him the whole time I was gone. So he had to venture out and go to the store, which he did.
He had to do some of your chores. Is what
He
you're
had to do
saying.
some of my chores, which he apparently thinks he did better than me because he bought ample amounts of every fruit that was available, not realizing that maybe she doesn't buy big quantities because they go bad, right?
Hence the word perishables.
Yes. So I came home to a house full of plums and bananas and strawberries and grapes of two kinds and cherries and apples and every fruit, pears, every fruit that they had, and tangerines and oranges.
Okay, we got it.
Every fruit that they had, and these little, anyway, was in my kitchen with no hope of anybody eating it all.
No, even now that you're back, or is it already?
No, I've
gone bad,
been Susie Homemaker the last 3 days, canning and freezing, and it's just not right.
So he actually ended up adding a few things to your chore
Yes.
list.
I'm out there finally chopping up and then I stopped. He said, stop and get peaches in Georgia. So I stopped and got this huge $20 bag of peaches, which immediately went bad. And so I'm like chopping up peaches, and then I get in. I mean, I don't know. I have
That's
an issue.
definitely stressful. I would
It
think
is, and it
coming
makes
back.
me eat, and I don't want fruit, and I can't sleep because I don't know. It's just, we need to move on.
Yeah, well, I think we need to talk about things that we can do to help you out. Coming back from your trip to all of this obviously was stressful.
Can we talk about my hair?
Let's just go through it. Please, let's.
Okay, I look like, what's the chick
Don't
from
say it.
Steel Magnolias? I can't help it.
Drink your juice, Shelby.
Drink your shit. I don't like my hair, and it's a stressful thing for me, and it's driving me insane. And now that I'm back, it was okay up in the Midwest because it was behaving, but back here, it's a no-go. So it's stressing me out, which makes me eat, and I can't sleep. So.
Jenny Lynn and I talked about this. We always have great travel hair. Because, like, the second we
Yes.
get out of Florida, like when we were in California, good hair. When we were in Massachusetts, well, we talked about how I was from there, and every time I go home, my hair's always great. Mm-hmm.
And you come back here, and it's crappy hair.
Yeah.
Because of the
But
humidity.
that's the depression, I think.
Oh, the depression.
My hair's depressed to be back in Florida.
What we need to do for your post-trip depression is to get you a makeover and get your hair cut. And
I smell a
us reset.
segment coming on.
Shoot, why didn't we do this beforehand for this episode? Darn it.
All right, well, I'm done, so you can take over.
Yeah,
'cause
I
I'm
think
all
we need to
depressed
do a
and-
little bit of trip talk.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Here we
That
go.
was smooth.
It was a little quick, but thank
All
you.
right, so we're actually talking about post-trip depression. We all get it. We go on our trips.
Vacation,
Yep.
travel, the build-up.
Exactly. And, there's so much invested in getting there and doing these things, and then you do them, and then you come back to what? To nothing.
Bills, all the money you spent, all the receipts.
And tons of fruit in your house.
Tons of fruit in your house. And a cat who missed you so bad he's now avoiding me. And an ugly little dog we're house sitting for that won't eat.
It's some very, very serious matters that...
It is.
And they need to be dealt with. It's not healthy to just, slip into depression. So we thought that we would talk a little bit today about what are the things you can do to help ease that post-trip depression. And Teresa, you went to Facebook for this.
I did. I put it out there, and apparently the way I worded it, it sounded like Lucy's Vita Vita Vegemin thing, because I just put out there, are you depressed?
Oh, I saw this
Vacation.
post.
Do you suffer like I do from letdown after it's all over? Nothing to plan for, nothing to look forward to. What do you do to help with those feelings?
Does feel very infomercial.
I just want to know how other people, and most people are like-minded. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, there's reasons to be depressed for several reasons. One, all of that you've planned for, I don't want to tell you my glasses, all that you have planned for is now over. Mm-hmm. It's just now a memory. And if you didn't take enough pictures, you better have a good memory because you're not going to see it. And it might have went the way you wanted it to, or it might have not. It might have been a little mix of both. For me, it was a little mix of both.
It's a feeling of emptiness.
It is.
Because for so long, your vacation planning has been a big part of your life.
Yeah.
And then suddenly,
it's gone.
It's over.
This might sound trivial to people, but it's really not. If you're a big planner, and whether you're going to Disney World, you're going on a cruise, whether you're going on a road trip like I did, there was planning involved, and there was the anticipation, the excitement, and then you get home, and you've just got a dirty van to clean out, and a house full of fruit.
And a house full of fruit.
So
beware of fruit flies.
Oh, yeah,
that's the
bad.
Next phase of it all. Well, by far and away, we got a lot of comments.
There was a lot. They were still coming in when I left the house this
I think
morning.
it was well over 100 in response to your question. And far and away, the most popular answer can be summed up with Justine Caezo's, I'm hoping I say that right. Her response was, plan the next one.
And people do that. They jump right in.
Yeah, because they need to. It goes along with what I was saying. You come back and then there's this emptiness because this planning and preparation has been such a big part of your life, and then you come back and it's gone. There's a void. The easiest thing to do is to fill that void by doing it all over again.
But you know what I realized when I was out there on my trip? I realized there's other things out there too, though, other than vacations and trips.
What?
Well, there's a whole world out there that doesn't care about Disney. I found that out. There's a whole world out there that doesn't. I mean, they like it and all, but it's not. Their life doesn't revolve around it. But I think I am in the mode where I have to always be planning something. And it might just be a weekend getaway.
That's what her point is.
Yeah.
She's not saying you plan the next one to go to Disney, but you plan your next trip, whether it is to Cincinnati or to San Francisco or to Venice, Italy.
St. Augustine or wherever it may be. It could be a weekend trip.
Maybe it's just on the other coast in Tampa or, somewhere close by.
Trip to the grocery store.
Yep, but you have something to plan because that's what serves as and it does, a good distraction. Preparing for the next thing. We did have some other responses as well, which I thought were helpful. Rhonda Roderman Moffat said that she listens to music, but again, while she starts planning for the next trip. And then when she's done with that, she scrapbooks all of her memories from the trip she just took. I thought those were some really good ideas.
I'm going to have to wait a while before I go back, because I tried to go back and look at, because I got home and I'm showing Kelvin all the pictures of the places we were, and it kind of bummed me out, because I think I did it too soon.
That fed your depression.
Yes, so I needed to wait a little bit, and then I'll go back, and then it'll be happy memories.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just like, I just want to go back. I just want to...
So you're basically saying you think that that's beneficial to have a bit of a buffer time before you start reliving the memories of your past trip.
Me,
Go
personally.
and do something else,
just day to day
other, for a little bit,
stuff, yeah,
and then be able to go back and relive what it was.
Because the minute, and maybe it was because Kelvin wasn't with us, and he kind of fed into that. Oh wow, I wish I could have seen it. Well, you were invited, dude. So anyway. But
well, what about the music? Once you get back to that part of being able to relive, I always find it very therapeutic. Like she suggested, listening to music that's associated with that time, whether it's a playlist that I had that I listened to while I was traveling, or a song that I heard while I was at the place that I was at. Music so very easily puts me right back into the situation, where I was when I heard the song, and I always find that very soothing.
It's comforting, yeah.
Yeah. And then the scrapbooking. Do you scrapbook?
I used to when I had time, but never to the scale of a lot of people with the whole, how scrapbooking's a whole world.
Oh, I was completely immersed in it.
Mine was pretty low-tech scrapbooking.
Mine was very high tech. I was a Creative Memories distributor for a while.
Oh, my.
It was an addiction. My scrapbooks were like, woo, to the
And
hilt,
people still do that.
They do. They do. I think the thing that I like about scrapbooking is it's the pictures, but it's also a way to journal the stories along with the pictures.
Right.
So that, generations that go by, they're not going to look at this picture and go, what the heck is going on here, and have
Which is
no story behind it.
boxes and boxes of my pictures from
Right.
early
Scrapbooking
past,
allows
yeah.
you to document what is going
Right.
into the photo for other people who maybe weren't with you during that time.
You know what I like doing?
recall
I
memory.
liked doing the little videos of where we were and things. I mean, it's kind of stupid, and I was doing it purely for my own enjoyment. Mm-hmm. And if other people enjoy it, that's fine too. But
Well, what kind of videos were you doing?
well, we were just doing little videos of shooting of places where we were with our iPhones, and then we did a lot of where we were just talking in the van, little glimpse of our conversation, what we were talking about. And I did a lot of them. I shared a few on Facebook, but just going back and reliving some of that and being able to see, and we did it last year too, and in other years we had done it, and going back in and seeing what the kids look like and what our conversation was about and how we thought of a certain thing or a certain place, or like our feelings on where we stayed at the same hotel in Biggsville 2 years in a row. Our feelings changed a little bit. Last year it was more novelty. This year it was more, we felt more at home, and we just kind of took over the place. So it was a little bit different feeling. So I'd like to, document that so we can see our
Now,
evolution.
how do you plan on preserving that, or is it something that you'll just keep for
I
a
don't
little
know.
while and
I
then
don't
get
know.
rid of
I
it?
haven't thought about that.
So you got to find a way to
I gotta
kind
figure out a
of
way.
take all of those little video snippets and be able to preserve it in a way
yeah.
that will help you relive the memories later on.
Yep. My old age.
Jennifer Cooper Durham was talking about planning something else, but she had a little bit of a spin on it. Rather than it having to be planned for the next vacation, she was saying it could be for a holiday, or planning for Christmas or planning for a birthday. She said just basically having something to look forward to is crucial for mental well-being. So again, it's the idea of there's an
okay.
emptiness here. Let's put something else in front and look forward to that and move towards that, even if it's not a vacation, which is great.
Like a family get together at the house, or the next holiday.
Planning for something. It doesn't have to be the vacation, but I think that's great because not everyone has the means to just take a vacation after a vacation.
Or the time to just do that over and over and over. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Vacations are expensive. You can't always, go immediately right on to the next one. Sometimes there has to be an in-between time.
That's a very good idea.
I thought so as well.
Just start planning, whether it's the kids going back to school and how you're going to handle it, or someone's birthday. It could be anything.
David Coviello said, start learning how to make all of the new cocktails that you tried on vacation. So basically he just wants to drink himself into
Yeah, that sounds like David.
into numbing the pain
Wow.
of post-depression.
I mean, that's kind of it's interesting that he said that, because we just did the Hershey meet, and you remember I had that peanut butter martini that first night, and I regret not taking a picture of the menu because I don't know how to make it, but I've been thinking that's kind of a way to bring something a little special from the trip home with you.
Back home with you,
yeah, absolutely.
And sensory in a different type of sensory way, where now it's like a taste that you're familiar with from vacation. That's kind of interesting. I never really thought about that, as being giving yourself a different type of project like that to bring that vacation with you.
I'm just trying to learn to get the taste of the Skyline chili out of my mouth.
You want to erase the taste.
I want to take a picture of that. Let's have it over there.
The facial expression that just flashed across Craig's face.
But you're right. It is. I do like the whole idea of bringing things back. That I came back with recipes.
I was going to say
from
maybe
a family gathering we had.
Maybe you have your grandma's heirloom recipe that
or just something new
she
that
brought to the family reunion, or when we went on the podcast cruise, they had specialty drinks that they were serving. That would be something to bring back. Maybe it's not something specific. Maybe you just happen to eat a lot of popcorn when you were on this trip. I don't know. And then popcorn can, kind of make you get back to that mental space. But absolutely, I think that's a very creative way to approach it as well.
Food and drinks are a good way to always pull me out of my depression. So I'll take that one, go with that one.
Okay, Michelle Quenzel said, we went to a New Jersey Disney right after our honeymoon, and that helped a lot. So I think the basic idea here was spending time with friends. In this case, they honeymooned in Disney, and then going to a Dismeet where she was with friends afterwards. She was meeting with friends
Like-minded
who
people.
helped her connect with where she had just been.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, a little bit more difficult to achieve, I think, if you're traveling to somewhere like Cincinnati or whatnot. But maybe
Right.
it's just keeping in touch with the people that you met while you were there,
Right,
or that you spent
right.
time with when you were there.
Well, in my case, reconnecting with family members I hadn't seen, that makes me want to, you know what it made me want to do, and it's probably what I'll be doing next. I want to do Ancestry.com because I had learned some things about my family that I did not know. It has nothing to do with Okay, my dad told me his dog's name was Hazel growing up. I never knew that. I never knew he had a blue tick hound named Hazel until this past vacation, which made me think there's a lot I don't know about my family, and I know I'm not going to find that kind of stuff at Ancestry.com, but I think that's kind of going to make me connect back with,
Yeah, you can dig deep with that. I know that my maiden name is Guise, Guise, and I've got some ancestry, Duc de Guise or something in France, and I think he was a bad person from what I remember in world
Oh,
history.
my.
I think he beheaded a lot of Protestants. But yeah, I think so. But I'm not quite sure. But yeah, it is. If that's something that was a part of your trip, maybe you take a road trip to go see family, or there's a big family reunion
And you reconnect,
with
yeah.
people. That is a great way.
Another
to bring
way,
that
I
back
think,
home.
and also we're going to do this, is one of the places that we stopped, we want to get a family gathering together and do a family road trip with more people.
Oh wow! So like a caravan.
Right, or do we're trying to talk about doing a cruise like your family was going to do,
Yeah, that didn't work out.
But, it gives you something to plan and something to
I think it's interesting that you
move forward
said,
to.
Planning the next trip, but you're not just planning the next trip. You're actually one-upping it. You're, kicking it up a notch. Hey, more people and
Yeah.
do it
Well, we
bigger.
stayed in that Shaker Village and in Pleasant Hill, or wherever, I think it was Pleasant Hill, Kentucky. And going back during the holidays seems like a logical next step because we want to go back, my sister and I both. And it's Kentucky. We could come up to Kentucky. The northern relatives could come down to Kentucky. And I think it would be an awesome holiday gathering. Not necessarily on Christmas or on Thanksgiving, but just a holiday gathering to me is anytime fall or winter when the family gets together. It's a gathering, it's a holiday, But that's kind of where we're at right now. So, once I get past the doldrums of getting back, then we'll swing into that maybe.
I love it.
Because we don't want to let it slide, because time's ticking. The clock's ticking,
Yeah.
and it's going forward, and people are dying off right and left. Well, family members,
Yes, I know what you're saying, but
aging.
wow, this took a morbid turn
So-
really fast.
I want to know more about
Yes, so I agree
what's going
with
on
that.
in my world. So anyway.
Exactly. There's no better way to get information than firsthand information.
it is, and
So
more about
it's easier to
about
talk to the
yourself,
person
too.
directly than after
Yeah.
they're gone,
Oh,
having
yeah.
to try to dig and research and figure out
Right.
what it is that you can find.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Anyway,
Okay, so our next one was, please forgive me if I say this name incorrectly, but Amy Capuano, I think I'm saying that right.
sounds good.
She said something that I used to do all the time. She says, fake planning. Imagine a vacation and start doing research. So even if it's a vacation that you are not able to take, if it's
Fake
one that you
planning.
wish you could take, your imaginary vacation, start planning it. I used to do that regularly I don't know if that's what that is a sign of, whether that's good or bad or not
It's like
mentally healthy,
daydreaming
but
with details.
Yeah, I would do it all the time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wish that I could go here and I'd hang up pictures of it on a board, and I would sit down and I would research the area and make out itineraries.
See, and that expands your mind too and gives you more knowledge.
Well, here's the thing. What happens if, life throws something your way and all of a sudden you find you are able to take the vacation, and then it's already like you already know
You know the
exactly
details,
what
yeah.
you would want to do and how you could do it. And now you would, be able to. So
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like I
could
said,
do
I
some
used to
fake
do
planning.
it. I used to do it. Tyler Lee Allen had a very interesting
Oh,
response.
good Lord, what's he saying?
He said, find the nearest berry farm, take a bucket, steal as many berries as possible, make wine, drink wine, or just buy wine. Ooh, so
Wow, he's like
another one.
self-medicating there.
Yes.
But with
Self-medication.
having to pick the berries for me, Tyler. Bring them to me, and then I will can them for you in my
That's
lovely
right,
fruit-filled
because
kitchen.
now you have lots of experience with that.
Wow.
All right, Ashley
Interesting.
Parker says she likes to buy a new CD when she's on her trips and then listen to it when she gets home.
CDs.
Well, I guess the idea is
Just
music. She likes to obtain music on her trips.
So insensitive.
Just kidding.
Then she says, I also like to buy small souvenirs that I can decorate with. She specifically mentions antenna toppers. And that way she has fun afterwards. And then she says, of course, looking through all of her pictures. Now, I thought that was, buying the souvenirs and
I
then
always buy
setting
little
them,
souvenirs.
setting them out to serve as little reminders and
They're on my desk right now at home.
little sources
I've got
of
a little
comfort.
tiny 6-inch Mark Twain doll that I bought in Hannibal.
like a bobblehead Mark Twain or something.
No, it's like a little soft, almost like a little voodoo doll.
Oh, okay.
But it was cute. I bought some new jewelry. What else did I buy? Little
You are
things.
very big on buying earrings when we
I
go on
am,
trips.
and I did not buy any on this trip. It kind of threw me. I couldn't find anything that jumped out at me, which kind of depressed me. But we weren't really the one place. I mean, we found some, but nothing really jumped out at me too much. So I bought other little tchotchkes, and I bought books about where we were and different things.
That's a
and
cool
stuff like
idea.
that. So I have a lot of reading to do.
Okay.
But no CDs, no 8-tracks, no cassettes. I didn't do any of that.
But I like the idea of getting something while you're there and then bringing it home.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's fun that you have a specific something that you do usually purchase when you're out. For you, it's earrings. Some people buy shot glasses.
Yeah.
Other people they always go to a specific type of item and then collect that item from the different places.
And I like it to be a useful item that I'm going to practical that I'm going to use. But I still do like. I also brought home 4 different tea towels from different states. I love that advertise. Like the state. I love that stuff. I don't know why
Magnets
I did.
for your fridge or,
Yeah, I'm not a
whatever it
magnet
is.
person, but I don't know why I love tea towels. And my mother gave me some of my grandma's old tea towels and some of her old doilies and stuff, which I found interesting. But
I had initially started getting T-shirts. Like when we went to Hershey a year ago, I bought a Hershey T-shirt, and I thought this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get T-shirts from everywhere that I go. But I quickly realized that I'm starting to have way too many T-shirts. I got to find something else. I can't fit them all in my drawer.
I buy my sister silver spoons. I started doing it when I was like, she must have been a baby. And I was
Silver
like, what do I bring my
spoons.
sister back?
a silver
Yeah,
spoon.
the little spoon and the handle will say where it's from. And
All I can think of is Ricky Schroeder. But
Silver spoon.
I don't know. Oh, but like I just it's one of those things now where it's like, what is she gonna do with so many spoons? And
what does
but
she do
but
with
the
them?
same
Does
time,
she display them?
well, she just got a display last year, so when I go home, I'm gonna like paint it for her, so it's like nice. But it's one of those things where I've done it for so many years now, for like 20 years, I can't stop.
I know what she'll do with them
Can't stop
because I
now.
found out when I was home this time. My mother, who is the collector, the queen of collecting little things, is now passing these things on. She's in her 80s now, and so Stella acquired her collection of advertising pens and pencils and pen sets and pencil sets because it seemed the most logical thing to give to Stella. Mm-hmm. And some of it goes back to when my mom was a child. She said, she handed her one set, and she said, when I was 13, my older brother gave this to me as a gift, and now I'm giving it to you. And it's now, 70-some years old. It's just bizarre because my mother also collects everything. Matchbooks, advertising bottle openers with advertising on them, rulers, yardstick. It's like this, but it's all organized in little tiny.
I was just going to ask, is your mother a hoarder?
No, it's all very organized and put away. But yeah, we came home with a lot of that.
You know what?
Oddities.
That could be another episode that we do at some point. Trip takeaways that could actually serve as heirlooms.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, some
I'll
of the
have to remember
things-
that one.
Yeah, because you don't think about. I mean, some of the stuff that she gave me was her bottle opener collection. Some of the things that I remember that were my grandmother's are in that collection with old advertising on the side, and some of it is stuff that I gave her when I was a kid. When I would go, or we would go on trips, she'd come home with this, and keychains of. I mean, she's the queen of. I've got if it's little, I'm going to collect it, and if it's got advertising on it, which tells you kind of where you've been, and
Sure.
So that's kind of a cool
and
thing.
it's also a memento of the time.
Yeah.
Not only the place, but the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. All right. Now, Mike Holland said there's a place called The Boards, Winkamoshicon. So I think he's referring to disboards.com for all of you Disney fans out there. But the broader point is forums. Forums of people who share the same interests as you, whether, in this case, it would be a travel destination or the things that you like to do when you are traveling and on vacation. I think that's a great idea as well,
To visit the forums when you get back?
Yeah, to find people that are, like you said earlier, like-minded, to be able to
commiserate with you.
And be able to talk with you about the things that you like about that place or the things that you enjoy doing when you're in these places. And in that, it kind of helps extend the feeling that you have when you are actually there. The support system, the camaraderie.
You're sharing it all, and you're excited about what you've done, and you're trying to get them excited about.
Sometimes really good things come out of this, as in, like, you end up making very good friends and sometimes end up going on vacation with those people.
True.
Although, be careful with that. That might end up being a little bit scary.
I think I've seen a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like that.
Sounds like some kind of plot to a film. Okay, Ashley Parker said, I also like to make slideshows with the pictures and videos of our trip, set some background music from the place where it's at, and then watch it with the family and the people that she went on the trip with. We used to do this in my family.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of production involved. It was my dad with his video camera with the VHS cassette tape in it, and
wow.
And then
I
we
miss
would
those days.
we would come home and watch them with our family as a whole,
Right.
the people that were on
We
the
did
trip,
that.
and then we would also subject our extended family to
sit
it
there
as
and watch
well.
it
They were
too,
all
yeah.
required to sit there and watch it with us.
I remember we did that. My father, he didn't have, but it was before the 8-track. It was just a little.
Was it Super 8 film?
It was a little rolls of film on little spool. Yeah.
I think that's a
Is that
video,
Super
though,
8?
right?
No, it wasn't. Well, it was. I don't know. It was film.
Then
He'd have to put it in this little projector and.
Yeah, then it was probably Super 8 because that was the family. That was the camera that became the family camera. And I found some rolls when I went home recently too. Of my grandfather has them.
Yeah.
Yep, my grandfather has.
Well,
a
we
few
would
as
go
well.
on vacations, and like I said before, it either involved Chicago Cubs or St. Louis Cardinals, and we'd come home and have to relive the ball game on the film on the silent film.
How
I was there
exciting.
the first time. I don't want to watch it again. Look at that play. Woo, or whatever. It was very rarely. We were very rarely in them. It was where we were,
And that's
which is different
interesting.
now.
It is different.
Now-
The way that people record and document their trips,
Yeah.
the style is different than
Yeah,
how it
it's
used to be.
different.
Before, it used to be of the actual, just the
And
places
sometimes we'd
themselves.
be standing there in front of wherever, here's the family.
usually
we're getting ready to
not.
go into the stadium.
Even in a lot of times it was like, if you're going to, my family used to visit the waterfalls. There was lots of waterfalls in North Carolina, and we would do a little mini tour of them in the area near Cashiers. And, a lot of times the video was of just looking at this waterfall, going and nothing happening except for the waterfall going, because it was a beautiful view. But then, as we had our video camera longer and we would go back home and sit there in front of the TV and go, okay, well, there's a waterfall.
There's a waterfall.
Right. We realized you want to see the people in the places and remember what was going on with the people in the places. So,
Then you'd see little bits of people jumping in and out of the film. And
sometimes they'd interact with the camera, and sometimes it was just a candid,
or the child running ahead of you.
Third person type of view or whatever. But
that is a good way to,
and maybe you should do something like that with your video clips. I mean, now they have ways, or even like you can get apps on your phone where you can just do it on your phone to paste it and cut and paste and, with the music and all of that. So, okay.
That's why I have Rhino.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I did this for my brother. He was here with his kids, and they didn't know I was doing it. So, I was in the mode of making the videos for here. And so I was like, I'll just film some stuff. And then they drove back to Massachusetts. So the second they left, I sat at the computer, took all I did pictures and video, and I got all the songs together, and I got a thing. And so by the time that they made it back to Massachusetts, like 2 days later, because they stopped a couple days, they had the video waiting for them. Yeah, and they didn't know I did it, so they were like,
that's better than
crying. So
I know, absolutely. You want to talk about a good souvenir? That's the best kind.
But that's also, like, I'm not in the video at all, and it's also, so it's kind of, because it was my brother's first vacation with his girlfriend and the two kids, and like, I didn't need to be in it. I'm in a couple of the photos, but like, so you got to find the person who's going to be the wandering eye, or you just get your family like different designated days. You're like, okay, you're in charge of it. Jenny Lynn, it's your turn. Teresa, it's your turn, and just keep passing around. Yeah, but you have to stay committed. That's the problem.
Yeah, you do, because halfway through the vacation,
you're just like, I don't want to hold this anymore.
Don't hand me that camera again. Yeah,
get it out of my face.
We kind of got into that. So there's a lot of documentation for the first half, but the second half is
not as much.
It's not as much. Yeah.
Catherine Hafner brought up an interesting thing that I thought maybe you would want to talk about a little bit. She said, as my kids are now in college, the sadness is because the big family vacation is coming to an end. There will be vacations, but only one more with all of us as quote unquote us. After this vacation, I fear we will feel vacation empty nest.
Wow, that is depressing.
That is depressing. And I felt that a little bit going into this vacation because Max ended up not going. So it was a little odd going with only 2 children. And then coming back at some point, I realized the next one, it might not have Grace in it either. Even though Grace loves these things, and I think she'll strive more to be there than Max, because Max is kind of, like the guy, kind of nonchalant about it. But it's.
So is this a different kind of depression?
It's a different kind of depression, because not everybody is involved. You're evolving. And I have a friend on Facebook who just went on a vacation with just her husband, because they are empty nesters. They have grandchildren. Their families are all around. But it's different now when it's just, because we're moving into that. I'll have a few more with Stella. She's only 13. But at some point, if I don't get Kelvin to go, it's just going to be me, because he's not a road trip. He wants to fly. And I'm okay with that, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Depends on where I'm going.
So do you have to deal with it differently? Do you have to cope with it and find ways to deal with that depression differently than you would in the ways that we've just talked about it?
Because it's not something that's going to go away, because your life is changing, because your children aren't there at every moment, And some people continue on, and they do. You can still do big family gatherings, but it's different. And it also becomes different when your children have spouses or partners or whatever. That is going to change the dynamics of the family too, and you have to work that into it. And that itself is a whole nother ball of wax, because, you're thinking of someone who's not always been there.
Yeah.
So
having to make room for new people.
And you want them there. It's not like you don't want them there.
Yeah.
It's just a different feeling, because you're you're making the family bigger. But in some cases that separates it a little bit, because you're involving more people. And if those people can't go on whatever you're doing, then, I don't know. It's just a weird little thing.
Yeah.
And it's, I can't imagine if I ever have grandchildren, I'm sure it'll all be okay, and we'll incorporate it all in, but it's just...
It gets a little more complicated
Yeah, it is
as you
more
go
complicated
on.
as the family gets larger and farther spread out.
Okay, Chrissy Polin Spatel, she's talking about her pictures as well, but she had a different way of dealing with it. She said, I set most of my recent vacay pictures as my screensaver. So I constantly relive the memories and then she says she too always has the next trip in the works, even if it's 2 or 3 years away. So I guess if you don't have the time to do something like a scrapbook or even organize the photos like that, just quickly uploading them into, she uploads them into her screensaver and they regularly rotate. And we always have our desktops on.
I've done this.
Yeah?
I've done this with some Barcelona pictures and some pictures from Italy. They're there, and it just pops up, and it just makes me happy. A couple of and I'm not in the picture. It's just the location.
And
I know I was actually in that location.
Yeah.
It's a happy thing.
Yeah.
So I've actually done that. That's a good
idea there.
Good idea.
This was a very extreme way of coping with post-trip depression. Lizzie Smith says, well, I left Disney last September and decided I never wanted to leave the place again. So my way of coping was to apply for a job as an international cast member in Epcot. So she's starting in the UK Pavilion in early 2016. Congratulations, Lizzie. And so she thinks that worked out. So her way of coping with it was to get a job in the place she wanted to be.
Wow. I don't think I want to do that.
Making it not a vacation spot anymore, but a place where she began
that would
to build
work
her
on
career.
this end. People vacation, but I don't want to move back to Illinois.
You don't want to. You don't want to.
It would be all right, but I don't know what kind of job I'd have there.
All right. Jean Steinbook. I hope I'm saying that correctly. She says her way of coping is to complain a lot and to eat her emotions. She says
we
donuts
might be
help.
related.
In case anybody needs a suggestion, she says donuts are especially helpful.
Macaroni and cheese helps.
Yeah. Pizza.
I usually have to not do that because usually I have gone off of the way that I normally eat on vacation, and then I have to come back and I have to
that's depressing
recoup.
too.
Well, I guess it is, but I don't feel good. So in order to be able to feel good, I have to get myself dietarily back on track. But I get this.
Yeah, I understand it.
One of the things I do is I probably throw myself into movies and TV a lot and just try to put myself in somebody else's shoes for a while. You watch Pretty Little Liars, and those girls are all dealing with people that are trying to murder them all the time. And then you think, wow, my life is not so bad.
When I first come home from a trip, I don't want to do anything. I want to just lay there and stare at the wall because I'm in my own home and I'm comfortable. Not that I wasn't comfortable on the trip, but there's nothing like being home and in your own environment. So that's the first thing I do. And then I slip into I want to go back. Or I don't want to go back to work. And it's not that I don't love my job. I love my job more than anything. But it's still the fact that I got to get back into that routine.
Right.
But then maybe getting back into the routine will help. Because I haven't technically gone back to work yet.
I think that's a really good point. It is a bit depressing to think about going back into the routine, but
once you get back into it,
it is possibly the routine that is going to be the answer to the problem.
I think it will be.
Because then you get, back in step with the day-to-day, mentality.
Just what you have to do, yeah. And it's all good. I mean, I like what I do. It's just I got to get back into it and get back in the swing.
I remember feeling this way when we, the kids and I took our first Disney cruise last summer when I got hired. And it was our first cruise ever. And it was amazing. It was such a fantastic time for us. And it was at a time that we really needed to kind of be together as a family. So coming back was really hard because it was such a good time with my kids, and to have to come back and have to register them in the new schools and then adjust to our lives, which had changed. And it was rough, and I did find myself constantly wishing we were back on that boat and I was able to look out on the vast ocean. But it really was kind of hunkering down and getting into a routine. It wasn't
Right.
our normal routine because our lives had drastically changed. But
really setting that groove.
finding our routine, and setting it made a really big difference. This was interesting. Susie Wilkie Harloff said her new coping mechanism is Periscope. Have you heard of Periscope?
Kathy does this. I have not done this. Have you done this?
I have not done it either.
I'm not even sure what it is. It's got something to do with pictures,
It's
right?
a way of live streaming wherever you're at on Twitter. Am I right?
I don't think it's just Twitter. I think it's its own thing now.
Okay.
It might be through Twitter.
It is. Twitter owns it.
Twitter owns it. Okay, but it's a separate app, right? Yeah. So you can. I'm not. My friend Kelly does it sometimes, but you can just be like, pick a place in the world, and if people are periscoping there, you can literally just be like. So she showed me. She's like, here's a guy taking a cab ride in Paris, and I was like, why is he filming outside the window in
Because
Paris?
What's the
people
point?
wanna
Why
watch
is it
them.
more so than just a regular? Just send a picture on Instagram.
Well,
Because it's living, it's live, it's in motion.
it's
So,
voyeurism at its extreme too. So you can
watching
pop in.
people.
Yeah.
So I can sit in my recliner and Periscope me petting the cat.
Yep.
Woo, Klaus, we're having a good time.
And 40
everybody just-
people might pop in and want to watch you petting.
Well, how do they know
Klaus.
I'm going to be doing it?
Well, you can advertise it, or they could just catch it just at the moment.
Some people just make searches. So, for example, let's say that I
It's
just
kind of creepy.
it is a little bit creepy, but at the same time, a little bit fascinating. So let's say that I just got back from a trip to Paris, which I've never been to Paris, but I really want to go
Okay,
to
that's
Paris.
your make-believe trip you're making. Okay.
Yeah. And I wish that I was back in Paris. I could do a search and find out who at that moment is periscoping in Paris. And that would give me a way of seeing Paris.
And it's happening at that moment.
Yep, it's live streaming. Live streaming. So I
Is
thought
there
that was
is
a
there
bit
a length
genius.
to how long it can be?
What it's
Well, that's because that's the confusing part to me. So you talked about the petting of the cat, and that's what I think about. Is like if you're doing a 10-second video, how can anybody tune in at that moment? So you must have to keep the stream open for a certain amount of time for anybody to
even find
jump
it.
in and care.
Once you've done it, it's gone and it can never be seen again?
I don't know.
I
don't know
never
if it's like
periscope, so
on a
I do
loop.
not know I don't know all the ins and outs of it yet.
Isn't this like, what's that thing? Vine.
Vine,
What
that's
happened
what
to
it
Vine?
reminds me of Vine. It reminds me of Vine, but just live.
Vine is recorded and it's not live, and you can
So
edit it.
Periscope's
I
not
don't know if you
not
edit
recorded.
Periscope.
It's like
You
Snapchat.
can save Periscope videos to your phone.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like Snapchat. You can take a picture and it'll also save to your phone.
Yeah, Snapchat. Oh, no one will ever. No, honey, it's out there.
Yeah, at least it tells you when somebody's.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Okay. I don't Snapchat. I have the app for whatever reason.
Well, to be like, why'd you save that picture of my dog? And I'll be like, it's really cute, and I'm like, okay.
Well, from the broader perspective, though, this brings in social media. I didn't find the comment here yet, but somebody also had made the comment that what they do when they get home is they upload their photos to Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and then they start discussing their pictures with people. You know, people sharing their memories
I
with
do
other
like
people.
sharing, and as I'm on my trip, I do a little bit of sharing if I have Wi-Fi or 4G or whatever, and I'm able to. I do put a few little things up just to share the moment, which really and truly and completely upset my sister
Oh,
because we were invading her privacy in showing my mundane life.
well, I guess it's not always clear cut how you can, deal
No,
with
and
that, but-
that really frustrates me because I currently am doing something where I'm trying to respect somebody's privacy, and then they'll call you out and being like, "I'm never in any of your pictures. I'm never in any of your stuff," and you're like, "You have all of your stuff set to private, so I just assume that you don't want to be a part of
Right.
this." Like, and then when they try to, no, I don't want all of your weird friends to see me. Okay,
We had a big argument about the first part of my children's childhood, when Max was little and Grace was little, way back before the iPhone came into my world, and and we were still using the regular camera and having the film developed and all. I was never in a picture, ever in a picture, because I was the one taking the pictures.
Yep. There were many years where I
so
was
there's
like
many
that,
years
too.
where it's like, okay, I know I'm there because I took the picture, but there's no record of me being there for my children or
Right.
whatever. They gotta look back. Where's the picture, Mom? Where's you can find her in the background making potato salad or something, but you can never find her. That's my mother. She's always in the background of pictures. And my sister and I had this discussion. We said, you know what? Because she was saying, don't take my picture. I said, Brenda, there is no record of you. We got to take a picture of that. You were here.
Yeah.
And whether I share it, you're going to share it with the world. Whether I share it with the world or just keep it for my own amusement or whatever, because it's usually a stupid picture, it doesn't matter. I mean, you need to. There needs to be some sort of record.
When you go missing, you'll be real happy.
That's right.
Yeah,
here's a picture of. Here's her third grade school picture. It's all I got. Hope you can age progression it or whatever to make her look like she does now, because I got nothing, And she finally started coming around and getting not so uptight every time I took a picture, but come on.
Yeah, no,
you
I
are
agree.
what you are. You look like you know what? That's the way you look. I've come to that conclusion. Whether I look like this or like I looked 10 years ago or like I'm going to look 5 years from now, this is me. And I need to, this is it.
I agree. I think that you were there. Document it.
Document that you were standing in front of that stupid house in the country, or document that you were standing outside the Milledgeville Insane Asylum. Though Brenda wasn't there, but it was good.
Because down the road, these are the memories that are important. All right, I think our last one that we'll share before we wrap it up here was from Brian Francoeur. I think I'm saying that right.
Let me see. Oh,
Cure.
You might be right.
I thought this was very smart. He said, in addition to planning a new trip, create a fitness goal and go all out.
Oh, man, you had to go there.
Well, the reason is because we're talking about depression, and being able to pull out of that, feeling better is a big part of that.
It is.
And exercising, eating right, taking care of yourself. These are all things that do help your mental state. And
when you're going into a trip, you try to get to that look you want before you go on your trip.
right.
9.99 of the times I never reach my goal. And then I come back and I look at the pictures, which I just got done arguing about that I had to be in the pictures. And I'm not happy with the pictures, but still, like you said, and then you come back tired, you come back. So you do need, and
Right.
I am going to start. I've got it on
We
order.
are.
We
Do you
are.
want to share this with
Yes, let's
everyone?
share it.
Go ahead.
What's it called? I don't know.
20-day fitness.
21 day?
21-day fitness
Something.
No,
But
it's the
Something.
21-day fix.
fix.
Yeah.
21
and it
day
involves
fix.
these little boxes, which is what pulled me in. Sadly, it was the colorful little.
She got
boxes.
excited about containers.
I
Hey,
love containers.
whatever works.
Whatever works. And all these different containers are different sizes, and that's what you measure your food with, right? Is what you're putting in there.
Yep. So it helps you with understanding portion control.
Portion control.
And how you need to eat different things from the different groups and combine them.
I like it. I like that there's a visual.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just reading, and it's not just someone telling me something. There is a visual sitting there on my kitchen counter that tells me that I can only have the size of a little dice of the good
A
stuff.
little orange box of
A little
chocolate.
orange box.
Fill that thing to the brim.
Fill it, pack it with chocolate, and then I've got this big giant container with the lettuce in it.
Yes. So we have both invested in this. It's from beachbody.com.
Yeah.
And we're going to be trying the food portion of it. So just so you all know, I don't know if any of you guys want to jump in.
I think
and
it's
join us with us.
interesting.
We're going to try it.
I like the visual part of it. I like the fact that it's going to make you think, this is how much I'm supposed to be putting in my body versus how much I do put in my body, right?
Yes.
And I think it's going to depress me initially.
Initially, it'll be hard
It'll
because
be
your body
hard.
has to go through the adjustment, and that.
But I'm willing to
That'll be
do
a
that
bit-
because,
you
like
just
I
push through
said,
it.
time's ticking. Push through it, and you will be on my lifeline, right?
That's right. I will, because we're going to do meal planning. So anyway, thank you, Brian, for that. We agree. We're going to be doing some things here for Tess to try to bring her out of her post-trip depression. Get you a
The
new
containers.
haircut. Get you
Yes.
some food containers. We are good to go, people. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week's show. We're going to see you next week for some more fun. Not really sure what that is yet.
Oh, it'll be exciting. I'm excited about
It's
next
gonna
week.
it'll be
Because it's next week.
It'll be good. Whatever it is, you can count on that. So, with that, trip out.